The beauty and tragedy of living in recorded history is that it is recorded. You can look it up. The records, the answers you're seeking, they're there. If you want to know about the discovery of America, there are records. There are logs, there are diaries, there are minutes. And there's also a short account of the destruction of the Indies by Bartolomé de las Casas, who reported to his superiors in Spain what was being done in the conquest. If you want to know what everyone thought about the United States, you can read our founding documents, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and you can read the deleted portion of the Declaration of Independence. He has waged cruel war against human nature itself, violating its most sacred rights of life and liberty in the persons of a distant people who never offended him, captivating and carrying them into slavery in another hemisphere to incur miserable death in their transportation thither. Thomas Jefferson called slavery piratical warfare, the opprobrium of infidel powers, the warfare of a Christian king of Great Britain. He called it an execrable commerce, an assemblage of horrors. This portion was voted out of the final copy. If you want to know what the American Civil War was it about slavery? Was it about states' rights? The beauty and tragedy of living in recorded history is that it's recorded. You can look it up. The records, the answers you're seeking are there. Those talking at the time were only too happy to tell you exactly why they were doing what they did. The Texas Articles of Secession. We hold as undeniable truths that the governments of the various states and of the Confederacy itself were established exclusively by the white race, for themselves and their posterity. That the African race had no agency in their establishment. They were rightfully held and regarded as an inferior and dependent race, and in that condition only could their existence in this country be rendered beneficial or tolerable. This is abundantly authorized and justified by the experience of mankind and the revealed will of the Almighty Creator. The beauty and tragedy of living in recorded history is that it is recorded. You can look it up. The records, the answers you're seeking are there. I know what's going on in Ukraine. I know what's going on in the Holy Land and South Sudan because it's on video. The idea that you could continue to deny the Holocaust in this day and age is an abomination. And I mean that in the religious sense. Because they kept minutes. They have orders. We have the orders that they claimed to follow. They wrote their blasphemy into the arms of their victims and sewed it into their clothes before they burned them. The beauty and tragedy of living in recorded history is that it's recorded. I know what's going on in my streets because it's on video. I'm old enough to remember Rodney King and faded, scratchy videotape of 6 men beating a man. We know George Floyd. We know Philando Castillo. We know Laquan McDonald. It was recorded. It was live streamed. And now I have Renee Nicole Good. The beauty and tragedy of living in recorded history is that it's recorded. And it's a safe bet that I would probably lose my job faster for repeating what he said than he will for doing what he did. It's on video. We have the voices. It's recorded. The beauty and tragedy of living in recorded history is that it's recorded. We have the scriptures today, and they're filled with voices. The prophet speaks of a servant of justice and freedom that is coming to release the captives and enlighten the blind. The psalmist revels in the voice of God that thunders from above and transforms the earth. The apostle proclaims the gospel to a people who have not yet heard it. And finally, God's own self, opens the heavens and says, "This is my beloved, my son." And tells all of us, "These are my beloved, my children. This is my son." We are haunted by the voices of the past, surrounded by the witness of the saints. Listen to them. All of them. Because the beauty and tragedy of living in recorded history is that it's recorded. It's here for you to listen. We have no excuse. Because we have seen and we have heard. And as Peter says, we are witnesses to all these things. We have no excuse. It was recorded. Listen. Because sometimes the voice of God finds you in the night and tells you to become a deacon. And sometimes the still small voice of conscience stirs you to decency and kindness and compassion in a world trying to wring that out of everything. And sometimes the voices rise up from the past, from the very ground, and from every screen that demands your attention. And something inside you snaps to declare, "This is wrong." And over it all, there is a God that cracks the sky to tell you, "These are my children." The beauty and tragedy of living in recorded history is that it is recorded. You can look it up. It's in the minutes, in the diaries, in the declarations, in the proclamations. It's in the orders, it's in the minutes. The records, the answers you're seeking are there. The voices, the record has spoken. The voices scream from the ground, from every screen that demands our attention, leaving us with only one still, small voice. So what are you going to do about it?